Hello, good morning my dear students. Welcome to our Gyan Jyoti online classes. So in our early period we had discussed about what the traditional education system in India and the modern education system which was introduced by the Britishers. Okay, some Indian scholars like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Swami Dayanand Saraswati, okay, then Said Ahmad sir, okay, these scholars were taking initiative to promote modern education in India, but what many people they were also against of what modern education system, okay, which was totally dominated the traditional education system of India. Okay, so today we will discuss about some Indian scholars who took initiative to promote modern education system of modern education system of India, which was generally introduced by the Britishers. Okay, and that modern education system promote, you can say, promote Christian religion as well as English language in India. Okay, so let's begin the chapter from the Indian scholar Raja Ram Mohan Roy. First, Raja Ram Mohan Roy. (1772 to 1833). Okay, this was the period of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, or you can say that Raja Ram Mohan Roy was one of the famous social reformer of India. Why? Because by the efforts of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, the social evil like the Parda system, Sati Pratha, okay, this widow remarriage, this type of system were introduced by, or you can say totally destroyed or abolished by the efforts of Raja Ram Mohan Roy. So you can say that one of the most famous and intelligent, or you can say knowledgeable person of Indian society was Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Okay, so let's discuss about some efforts which were made by Raja Ram Mohan Roy to, you can say, promote the modern education system in Indian society. That Raja Ram Mohan Roy were you can say persuading the official of the East India Company to give instruction in English rather than in Sanskrit or Arabic. He thought that English would open the way for people to find out about the latest scientific developments of the West. Knowledge of Sanskrit, Persian, Arabic or Indian vernaculars would not contribute to this goal. Yes, this was true that Raja Ram Mohan Roy thought that English language, you can say, this was nowadays this is what Western language. Okay, so Raja Ram Mohan Roy thought about that English language, you can say, is a better language to communicate each other or in international level. Okay, like the Sanskrit, Persian, Arabic. Okay, this Indian language, this language, you can say, didn't you can give very much importance or impact in Indian society in international level. Okay, that's why what Raja Ram Mohan Roy thought that English, you can say, promote Indian culture or Indian society in international level. Then Raja Ram Mohan Roy wrote a letter to Lord Amherst in the year 1823 to demand English as the medium of instructions. When? 1823. He wrote a letter. Why? English, you can say, was the medium of instruction. Or you can say in official language, okay, Raja Ram Mohan Roy demanded that English should be, you can say, used there. Okay, So Roy embraced European learning, and in his opinion, English provided Indians with the key to all knowledge, all the really useful knowledge which the world contains. So in the letter, Roy expressed his opinion that the available funds should be used for employing European gentlemen of talent and education to instruct the natives of India in mathematics, natural philosophy, chemistry, anatomy, and other useful sciences, which the natives of European have carried to a degree of what? Perfection. This has raised them above the inhabitants of other parts of the world. Okay, so Raja Ram Mohan Roy also, you can say, wrote about in that letter that the Indian scholars, okay, which were, you can say, those who had the capability or skills in mathematics, in you can say in natural science, okay, in physical science and anatomy, in astronomy, okay, that the Britishers or the British government should, you can say, employing them. Okay, this was the demand of what? Raja Ram Mohan Roy. So he wrote in that letter about Indian scholars and what instruct the British government or request to the British government to employing them. Oh, okay, by the employing of Indian scholars, you can say Indian society received a lot of international knowledge. That's why Raja Ram Mohan Roy request to the British government to employing the what? Indian scholars or Indian, you can say, Indian knowledgeable person. Okay. Then Roy's letter started the Oriental Anglicist controversy, the controversy over which educational policy would be suitable for India. English was established firmly as the medium of instruction and administration. The English language became popular because it opened paths to employment and influence. English among the Indians gradually became a widespread means of communication. Okay, so by the efforts, you can say, by the efforts of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, the Britishers were eagerly, you can say, introduce English language as the medium of, you can say, instructions in administrative field. Okay, and also they were employing the Indian scholars. Okay, and after that, what? English language, you can say, was widespread between the Indian society, and it was only possible for the, you can say, efforts of Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Okay, and Raja Ram Mohan Roy also, you can say, abolished or destroyed the Sati Pratha as well as Parda system, and also introduced the widow remarriage system in India. Okay, after that, one of the you can say among the Indian scholar, one of the most important famous person was Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Okay, he was also a social reformer of India. He also, you can say, gave many efforts or gave you can say essential efforts to promote the modern education system in India. Okay, this person were mostly famous for what? Their educations. Okay, so Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, the great scholar and reformer, was a noted Sanskrit scholar. Okay, he was a what? Sanskrit scholar or vernacular language scholar. His, you can say, mind was open to the best in Western thought. Okay, he also supported to Western thought, Western language as well as Western culture, because the Western culture was, you can say, very much developed. That's why the Indian scholars gave very much importance to Western culture as well as Western language. And he came to represent a happy blend of Indian and Western cultures. He was a great humanist. He evolved a new methodology of teaching. He opened the gates of the Sanskrit college to non-Brahmins. Okay? Who? Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar open the gates of educational institution, okay, open the gates of Sanskrit college, okay, Sanskrit college, where the non-Brahmin were also, you can say, took education facilities. So you can say that it was a great effort made by Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, because in ancient period, in early period, the non-Brahmin peoples were didn't allowed to the Sanskrit college to got education, but by the efforts, you can say by the work of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, okay, he opened the gates of Sanskrit or vernacular language college. That's why the non-Brahmin people were easily, you can say, took the education facilities there, okay. You can say in beginning period, the Indian society or the Brahmins were only one class people, okay. They had the facility to what, you can say, grab the Sanskrit language, okay. But after the efforts of Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, the non-Brahmins people were also, you can say, took the education facility, took the, or they were also, you can say, took the Sanskrit language as their, you can say, education facility, okay. After that, English as the dominant language, when English was introduced in Indian society, okay, the language was widespread over Indian society, okay. That's why the vernacular language, you can say, abolished by the English language, or you can say English language totally dominated the other language, okay. Most of the European literature, okay, like the books, they were also written in English language, and the impact of what European literature, okay, was, you can say, made a great blow in Indian society, because the Indian society, what they communicate or they officially communicate each other through the English language, and they were also interested to know about the what English literature or European literature, okay. That's why the European or the Indian society totally flew up by the you can say European literature, okay. So the question is, what was the motives of the British, okay, or you can say what was the aim of the British to introduce English language in India, okay. There was a reason behind what English language used in India. So let's discuss about the motives, or you can say ambition of the Britishers to introduce English language in Indian society, okay. So the modern education was introduced basically to meet the increasing requirements of the new expanded administrations. The rulers wanted educated Indians to effectively carry out what clerical and lower administrative tasks for the British. The system was also aimed to transforming Indian society and culture. The main idea behind the new system of education was to create a loyal section of Indians. As I have already told you that the British introduced modern education system for their purposes, okay. They educate the Indian people, they promote the modern education system, okay, for their benefit, okay. That's why they use modern education system in India, okay. They wanted to create a loyal Indians, you can say, who work under the British administrative system, okay. That's why they use, you can say, they introduced modern education system, or possibly you can say that the people, that the English people or British government also succeed over Indian society, and by the education system it was also a bad effect for what British administrative system, that by getting education or modern education, the Indian society, okay, they were also know about the ideologies like nationalism, liberty, then brotherhood, or you can say fraternity, about, you can say, rights, okay, about the democracy, okay. They also, the Indian society, the Indian educational they also got idea about freedom, okay. So the however the Britishers, you can say, introduced modern education system in India to create loyal Indians, or to create workers who were loyal to British administrative system. But the Indian society, but the Indian educationalists also took the, you can say, beneficial things from that modern education system. Okay, they were able to know about the ideologies like nationalism, freedom, rights, etc., etc. Okay, so this was the motive, or you can say aim of the British government. Okay, that's why they were introduced in the modern education system of India. But by the modern education system, okay, the Indian also took benefit and they were united together, and you can say later on the Indians, you can say movement against the Britishers. Okay, let's move on to the next topic, that features of the colonial system of education. What were the features? Features of, you can say, colonial system. Colonial system means British government system. Okay, so features of modernity or the speciality. You can say speciality of British education system. Okay, so bookish knowledge. The first point is bookish knowledge. So the modern education system was, you can say, centralized in only on books. The structure and pattern, aims, methods, curriculum and content all were designed to serve colonialism. Okay, so the new system of education was entirely different from the early system of education. It encouraged bookish knowledge and rote learning. There was no attempt to produce educated minds. However, the educational system acted as a carrier of nationalism, although only indirectly. Okay, so it also promoted, you can say, British administrative system. Okay, and you can say there was no value of morality. Okay, those persons, okay, who had modern education system, okay, they had only bookish knowledge, no outside knowledge there. So by the books, okay, it also promote nationalism, and by the feeling of nationalism, okay, the Indian also took benefit. Okay, so the first and foremost, you can say, feature or speciality of the colonial system of education was bookish knowledge. The knowledges, you can say, were only on centralized into what? Books only. Okay, after that, neglect to technical education. Yeah, this is also right. Neglect to technical. So the government completely neglected modern technical education, which was required for the rise and development of modern society. Okay, so the modern education system, you can say, totally neglected over the technical education. In the technical field of education, okay, there was no efforts made by the colonial system of education. Okay, that's why the technical education, you can say, behind the bookish knowledge, or there was no development, or no, you can say, development efforts made by what? The colonial system of education in the technical field. Then no mass education. The third one is no mass education. So another feature was its emphasis on English as the medium of instruction in place of the Indian languages. This prevented the spread of education to the masses and created a gulf between the educated and the uneducated masses. Okay, so there was no facility of mass education. The people, okay, who were only, you can say, influenced by English language, okay, they were, you can say, took the education facility of the Britishers. So there was a huge gap, you can say, between the educated person and uneducated person. Okay, so there was no mass education facility, you can say, provided by modern education system to Indian society. Got it? Then shortage of funds. Large shortage of funds. So the government refused to allocate adequate funds for education. Gradually it reduced the educational standards. Moreover, education remained expensive and so it became a monopoly of the rich. Okay, shortage of funds. So the government refused to allocate adequate funds for education. During that period, what? Government refused to provide funds to the educational system. Okay, so it reduces the educational standard. That's why the educational, you can say, standards going down. Okay, so education remained expensive during that time. During you can say nowadays also, what? Education remained expensive and it became a monopoly of the rich. Okay, so there was, you can say, shortage of funds. The British government didn't, you can say, wish to financially supported to the education system in India. Okay, so these were the, you can say, features of colonial system of education in India. Now the topic is Wood's Dispatch of 1854 century or common era. Let's discuss about the Wood's Dispatch from 1833 century or common era onwards. The British supported the growth of limited education. In 1854, what? Sir Charles Wood initiated a grand plan for education. Who? Sir Charles Wood. Okay, Sir. When 1854. Okay, Charles Wood, you can say, made a great planning for education system. It is popularly known as Wood's Dispatch. Okay, this plan, you can say, is popularly known as Wood's Dispatch. The plan aimed at promoting Western education through the medium of English and Indian languages. Okay, so this was the plan of Charles Wood through English language and through Indian languages. Okay, he planned to, you can say, promote or spread Western education in India. Department for Public Instruction were established in the British provinces. It also started patterns of grant in aid to encourage private participation in the field of education. Okay, so this, you can say, this was the efforts made by Charles Wood in 1854. He wanted to, or he made a plan to promote Western education through the English language as well as many Indian languages. Okay, so its main features, or the Wood's main features, are that it made a provision for spreading education from primary up to the university level. Thus, school, colleges and universities were to be set up. In 1857, universities were set up at Calcutta, Bombay and Madras. Okay, to promote Western education, okay, from primary level to, you can say, university level. That's why many colleges, many schools, many universities were also established in Calcutta, Bombay and Madras in 1857. Then departments of education were to be set up in all the provinces. They were expected to supervise education and provide financial aid to the various educational institutions in the provinces. In the provinces, okay, many educational departments were also, you can say, formed, okay, and their chief duty was to supervise the education system in India, okay, or you can say make the eyes over education system in India. That's why the education departments were formed or established in each provinces. Then teachers recruitment and training institutions were to be set up all over the country. Yeah, it also what teachers recruitment and training institutions were to be set up all over the country. Okay, you can say to make a good teacher. Okay, and what teacher recruitment facility and gave the training to the teacher. That's why the training institution or training, you can say, center also were set up all over the country. So these were the features of Wood's dispatch plan of 1854. Okay, then flaws of modern education. Flaws. Or you can write demerits. Okay, demerits of or you can say flaws of modern education. That we had already discussed about the features of modern education, that there was only bookish knowledge, okay, no moral language was there, okay. This you can say this was also a flaws or demerits of modern education. Or you after that, the second was what they in modern education what neglect to technical education, okay. It totally neglected the technical education. After that, no mass education was provided in what modern education system. This was also a flaw or demerits of modern education system. And what shortage of funds, okay. So let's discuss about some demerits and you can say flaws of modern education. The mass education was totally neglected. Yes, okay. Then British believed that by educating a few Indians from the upper and middle classes, the government was actually paving the way for the education of the masses. For the handful of Indians were expected to educate what? The masses and spread modern ideas. Education was supposed to filter downwards from the upper classes. Okay, so this was the idea of, or this was the, you can say, aim of Britishers to educate what? Only upper class people as well as middle class people. Okay, the education of girls was also neglected. Okay, the Britishers were also neglected to provide education to the Indian girls. Then higher education was a limitation to the Western system unrelated to the needs of the country. Okay. After that, impact of Indians and Indian initiative. Okay, means the Indian scholars. Okay, they were also, you can say, tried many efforts, tried in different ways to, you can say, take to initiative to promote modern education system in India. Let's discuss about some of the you can say famous Indian noble person, okay, or they took initiative to promote modern education system in India. So the teaching and learning of Oriental literature was stopped. Indian manners, customs and tradition came to be looked down upon. A new class of educated Indians that was aligned to their own country came into existence. However, in due course of time, some great leaders emerged from this very class. They led the country's freedom movement and struggle against the British. The new system was elitist and served only a small section. As much as 92% of Indians were illiterate in 1921. So according to the, you can say, statistic of 1921, 92% of Indians were illiterate. Okay, illiterate, or you can say uneducated. That's why some educationalists, they took initiative to promote what education system in India. Okay, that the elite Indians also went to Europe to study. Okay, the modern educational system had what familiarized the educated class with the ideas of equality, liberty, and nationalism. I have already told you that it promote the ideologies like what nationalism, liberty, rights, etc. Okay, so the people who were traveled to what abroad for the study, okay, they knew about, or they clearly knew about this idea, these ideologies. Okay, that's why what on their return to India, they were denied all the rights which were Europeans enjoyed in their countries without any difficulty. The educated people tried to achieve that the Europeans enjoyed and the British denied to the Indians. Okay, then natives attempts means how did the, you can say, how did the Indian scholars, they were to what initiative to promote the ideologies like nationalism, equality, the rights, etc. So Indian intellectuals like Rajaram Mohan Roy also began to work for social and cultural what modernization and national regeneration. Later, their enlightened Indians played a constructive role in the spread of education. A National Council of Education was formed as a symbol of revolt against the British. The nationalist leaders established national school and a national college. Rabindranath Tagore what established the Vishwa Bharati University at what Shantiniketan. So this type of, you can say, attempts what made by Indian intellectuals, made by Rajaram Mohan Roy, Rabindranath Tagore, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Okay, these people were took initiative to, you can say, to promote the to promote yes ideologies like nationalism, fraternity, liberty among the Indians. Okay, so what was the condition of education during freedom struggle, okay, of India? That during the course of the freedom struggle, Mahatma Gandhi gave a call for the boycott of the government and grants in aid school and colleges. He asked the nation to establish national school. Consequently, what schools such as the Kashi Vidyapit, the Bihar Vidyapit, and the Jamia Millia Islamia were set up. A new program of education called Nai Talim was started to promote the mother tongue and Indian culture and nationalism. So during the freedom struggle, okay, India, what you can say, owned the mother tongue to promote education system in India. Okay, Gandhiji, you can say, call for the boycott of government. That's why you can say teachers, okay, the students, they were, you can say, left from the school colleges, and a new, you can say, education system was established in India. Okay, that was known as Nai Talim. Many Vidyapit, or you can say school, colleges, universities were set up by Indian scholars. Okay, and through the Indian languages, okay, they were tried to promote the Indian education in India. Okay, then growth of science. So in the beginning, what the Britishers did it, you can say, gave importance to technical field, then science field. Okay, later on, the Indian reformers favored English as the medium of instruction because they attached great importance to the teaching and study of science. They held the view that neglecting science led to backwards. Science was introduced in India during the early 19th century. Remember one thing, that the science was introduced in India during the early 19th century. The Indians took interest in the study of science. The Grant Medical College and the Pune Engineering College had Indian students. Bahudaji, okay, and Atmaram Pandurang were the first Indian medical graduates, okay, graduates in the year 1851 from the Grant Medical College. Remember these two names, that what Bahudaji and Atmaram Pandurang, okay, were the first Indian medical graduates in the year 1851 from the Grant Medical College. The Indian universities also established Department of Sciences. During 19th century, okay, the science was introduced in India, okay, to promote what science knowledge, to promote what engineering or technical knowledge, okay. The Grant Medical College also established, okay. The Pune Engineering College also established, and Bahudaji and Atmaram Pandurang were the first what Indian medical graduates in the year of 1851. Then Mahendralal Sircar is remembered for founding the Indian Association for the Cultivation of Science. During the 1920s, the Indian Science Congress Association came up. Indian produced great scientists. Sir C.V. Raman was awarded Nobel Prize for his work in physics in 1930s. Okay, as Visvesvaraya is still remembered for his contribution in this field of what hydraulic engineering and other branches of technology. Okay, so you can say this is an important para of our group. Okay, you should read it carefully. That Sir C.V. Raman was awarded the Nobel Prize for his work in physics in 1930. Okay, as Visvesvaraya is still remembered for his contribution in the field of hydraulic engineering and other branches of technology. So basically, the growth of science, okay, was happened in India during 19th century. Okay, then elsewhere means another you can say field that in 1907 Vittal Rao Devlavgaonkar, Kesav Rao Koratkar and Garuda Rao started the Nutan Vidyalaya High School in what? Gulbarga, another place. Okay, the Nutan Vidyalaya played a prominent part in spreading education in the Karnataka region of the Hyderabad state. The Gaikwad established the Baroda College. The college was established to meet the educational needs of the people of the what? Principality. Moreover, the government of Baroda pursued a policy of re-evaluating its educational system from time to time. The state had educational advisors and a capable principal, Dr. Jackson, who headed the Baroda College in 1908. So many schools and colleges also you can say established in different parts of India, like Baroda College. It was established by the Gaikwads. Okay, then Vittal Rao, Devlavgaonkar, Kesav Rao Koratkar, Garuda Rao started the Nutan Vidyalaya High School in Gulbarga. Okay, after that, what the Baroda College also you can say employed a advisor and a capable principal, Dr. Jackson, who headed the Baroda College in 1908. Dr. Jackson advocated the establishment of a scientific institution in Baroda. The state appointed a commission in 1909 to examine the educational needs. The commission recommended expansion of the activities of the Baroda College. It also recommended the establishment of additional chairs in the new branches of knowledge in the college. The process of you can say inquiry and recommendation culminated in the establishment of a full-fledged university in 1949. So in Baroda and Hyderabad, okay, many institutions or educational institutions were established. for the development of science and engineering. Okay, so this type of, you can say, educational facilities were provided in India after the freedom struggle, after we got independence. Okay, so you can say many revolution or many educational revolution was happened in India. Okay, from the beginning to till now. Okay, till now the education system, you can say, is also in changing process. Okay, nowadays, what due to the pandemic, okay, we have the online classes. Okay, so this type of, you can say, revolution or changes, or you can say, occur time to time. Okay, so the Britishers, what you can say, they were introduced the modern education system in India in the beginning period. Okay, mainly Indians, they were against the British government, they were against the modern education system, because modern education system, you can say, was totally destroyed or decline, was a reason of decline of traditional education system of India. Okay, but many educationalists or many social reformers like Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, okay, Swami Dayanand Saraswati, okay, Syed Ali sir. Okay, this type of educationalists, they were, you can say, promoted the modern education system of India. You can say that not modern education system, but they were promoted what the English language in India. Okay, and by the, you can say, by the getting of English language or European literature, the Indians were able to, you can say, knew about the ideologies of nationalism. Okay, that's why they were inspired or motivated by the ideologies like nationalism, then liberty, rights, etc. And after that, you can say, India fight against the British government. Okay, the policy of British government, and finally we got independent from British rule, and many schools and colleges and universities were also, you can say, established during British period and after British period to promote what the education system of India. Okay, this is all about the class. Okay, this is all about the chapter that what the modern education system in India, or you can say education and the British rule. Okay, many, you can say, many changes were occurred, changes were occurred in the education field during the British rule, and now it is also the changing process is going on. Okay, thank you, have a nice day.